The year is 90 AD, and the sand of the Flavian amphitheater is already drinking the blood of the morning's dead. But the crowd is still hungry. Valeria, 26 years old and shivering in the thin linen tunic of a condemned prisoner, can smell the copper tang of slaughter mixing with the musk of the beast cages. Through the stone ceiling of her holding cell, the roar of 50,000 Romans vibrates against her skin, a sound like thunder demanding her destruction. Only 11 days ago, she was the most powerful woman in Rome without a crown, the favorite mistress of the Emperor Domitian, the keeper of his darkest secrets, and the warm body that replaced his wife Domitia on nights when the emperor's appetites turned specific. Now she stands in the damp gloom beneath the arena, her hair sheared to the scalp, her body stripped of the silks and jewels that once announced her influence, waiting for the iron gate to lift and deliver her to 80,000 eyes that have been promised a death more creative than anything they have seen before. Through the bars of her cell, she watches other prisoners being prepped for the day's spectacle. Thieves, captured soldiers, slaves who failed their masters, the usual grist for Rome's mill of violence. But they are being readied for mercy, for the quick snap of a beast's jaws or the clean slice of a blade that will end their suffering in minutes. Her death will not be quick, for the emperor has designed it to be an eternity. A guard approaches her cell, a man of perhaps 40 whose face holds the bored indifference of a butcher who sees livestock rather than people. He looks at her as one might inspect a prop for a stage play, checking for defects, ensuring the merchandise is ready for performance. The emperor sends a message. The guard says flatly, informing her that Marcus Aemilius died this morning. The senator was beheaded at dawn in the privacy of his home with a single, clean stroke. A merciful death. Marcus. The name hits her harder than a fist. The man she loved or thought she loved, the man whose touch made her forget she belonged to a monster, is dead, released by a single stroke while she remains to face a horror designed to be the antithesis of mercy. The emperor wants you to understand the symmetry. The guard continues, explaining that Senator Aemilius received the death of a Roman nobleman because he was one, while she will receive the death of a faithless woman because that is what she is. His death took seconds. Yours will take hours. His body went to his family for rites. Yours will go to the animals after the crowd is finished watching what they do to you. What do they do to me? Valeria asks, demanding specifics. You don't know. The guard asks, genuinely surprised, knowing that the emperor has published the program and the entire city knows the itinerary of her agony. I have been in a cell for 11 days. She replies, and no one speaks to the dead. The guard's face shifts from indifference to professional curiosity, noting that few prisoners face the end with such ice in their veins. First, you will be paraded through the arena naked, he explains, allowing the crowd to throw whatever they brought, rotted food, awful filth. But the guard will stop anything lethal because this is a humiliation phase. Then you will be given to the bestiari, not the gladiators who kill beasts, but the trainers who handle them. They have orders to entertain the crowd for at least 1 hour with your terror. Valeria feels her stomach turn to water, but her face remains a mask of stone, a skill learned in 3 years of navigating Domitian's court. And the finale, the guard adds, his voice heavy with the knowledge of something excessive, is the bull. You know of the mythological reenactments, the story of Pasiphae. Yes, the emperor loves to bring myths to life. He has decreed you will play Pasiphae. A special apparatus has been built. A bull has been chosen, a massive beast from the Spanish provinces, specially trained for this purpose. The word purpose hangs in the stagnant air, implying that this monstrosity is intentional, crafted rather than chaotic. How long? She asks. The emperor has set aside the afternoon from the 6th hour until sunset, perhaps 5 hours total, depending on your endurance during the finale. 5 hours. She has 5 hours of life left, and the majority of them will be spent in a meticulously choreographed hell designed to delight 50,000 spectators and show the world the price of betraying an emperor. But she possesses something the guard does not see, something Domitian does not know. She still holds information. 3 years in the emperor's bed gave her the keys to secrets that powerful men would kill to hide or pay fortunes to learn. She knows the conspiracies Domitian dreads, the names of senators he suspects, the evidence gathered against families who could topple him if they knew his plans. She knows the flow of gold that builds his monuments, the bribes that buy his generals, the blackmail that silences his rivals. She knows the fault lines in the Imperial Foundation. And for 11 days in the dark, she's been plotting how to weaponize this knowledge. What you are about to hear has been scrubbed from the history books that laud Roman entertainment as a marvel of engineering. The poets who sang of the Colosseum's majesty conveniently forgot to rhyme about the specific atrocities on the sand. The historians who logged the game spoke of executions in broad strokes, glossing over the mechanics that made the mob roar. Tonight, you will hear the truth of Rome's most famous stage. You will learn of the punishments tailored for women who angered the state, the spectacles engineered to degrade the female form in ways the execution of men never attempted. You will learn of the mythological reenactments that force condemned prisoners to act out scenes of bestial nightmare. You will learn of the machines built for these horrors, the devices that position women for violations no human should endure. You will learn of the crowds that cheered, the emperors who directed, and the industrial-scale cruelty that made the arena the most sophisticated torture chamber in history. You will learn of Valeria, whose affair with Senator Marcus Aemilius was exposed to an emperor already mad with paranoia. You will learn what Domitian built for her, what she knew that he forgot, and how a spectacle meant to erase her became something else entirely. Subscribe if you have the stomach to understand the true horror of the Roman games. Comment below with where you are watching from, because the Colosseum was not just a battlefield for gladiators. It was a factory of cruelty that turned torture into high art. And Valeria is next on the assembly line. But before we step onto and why the punishment of unfaithful women was a distinct genre of Imperial theater. Sand, we must go back. We must explain the machinery of the Roman spectacle, why it took these shapes. To understand Valeria's fate, you must understand the system that wrote it. The Roman arena was not a place of simple execution. It was a place of narrative. Narrative required drama, a story arc that turned butchery into a play. This rule governed every moment of the games. Gladiators offer the drama of suspense. Would a veteran fall? Beast hunts offer the drama of the wild. Would civilization tame the savage? Executions of criminals offer the drama of justice, the wicked receiving their due while the crowd participated in the cleansing of society. But executions were a problem. A simple beheading or crucifixion was boring. The victim died, the crowd cheered, and the show was over in moments. To fill the vast hours of the games, Roman producers invented the art of the prolonged kill. Mythological reenactments were the apex of this innovation. Instead of just killing a prisoner, they cast him as a character in a story everyone knew. A man might be dressed as Orpheus and fed to bears to recreate the bard's tragic end. A woman might be cast as Dirce, tied to a wild bull and dragged to pieces to mimic the myth. These plays served three masters. They gave the violence a plot. They gave the slaughter a cultural veneer, making it a celebration of history rather than just murder. And they gave producers a way to compete, striving to stage the most shocking version of the classics. The punishment of women in these myths had its own dark tradition. A woman's body was seen as a different canvas for pain than a man's. Men could die fighting, keeping a shred of honor. Women were rendered helpless, their vulnerability becoming the show. The myth of Pasiphae was a favorite because it hit every nerve of the Roman ID. Sexual degradation. The queen's union with the bull was explicitly erotic. Bestiality. The animal element added a shock factor that human violence lacked, and prolonged suffering. Unlike a sword stroke, the Pasiphae reenactment could last as long as the beast was interested. The machine used for this was known as the wooden cow. It was a hollow frame, covered in cowhide, shaped like a heifer, into which the condemned woman was strapped. The frame had shackles to prevent struggle and strategic openings to allow the bull access. Ancient sources describe this device not as a rumor, but as a standard piece of stagecraft, maintained by carpenters and refined by engineers. Animal trainers had specific methods to ensure the bull would mount the device. It was an industry of horror. This is a machine waiting for Valeria, not random sadism, but organized, professional, state-sponsored entertainment. Now, let us return to the cell where Valeria prepares to play her final card. I need to speak to someone, she tells a guard. Someone with rank. Not you. Someone who can make a decision. You are condemned, he sneers. You have no rights. I have information. She counters. Secrets the Emperor does not know I have. Secrets that certain people would pay fortunes to bury or expose. The guard studies her. The gears agreed turning. What kind of secrets? The kind that get men killed. The kind that shift power. The kind worth delaying an execution to verify. The Emperor is here today. The guard warns. The schedule is set. The crowd will wait, she snaps. They always wait. And if my secrets die with me because you refuse to listen, powerful men will look for a scapegoat. You are the last person to see me alive. Do you want that blame? It is a gamble. She does not know if he is corrupt enough or scared enough, but she has no other play. The spectacle begins in hours. The guard says nothing, turns, and leaves. Valeria swallows the panic rising in her throat. One cast of the dice. She waits. An hour burns away, then another. The roar overhead tells her the morning games are ending. Then the guard returns. He is not alone. The man with him is 50, draped in a senator's toga, a face she knows from court. Lucius Antonius Saturninus, a governor, a commander, a man with ambition painted on his soul and loyalty that is, at best, flexible. You claim to have information. Saturninus says, skipping pleasantries. The guard says it has value. I know its value, she replies. The question is if you can pay the price. I do not bargain with dead women. Then why are you here? You are here because you are curious. You are here because if I know something, you need to know it first. You are a calculator of odds, and I am an opportunity. Saturninus looks at her with the cold eyes of a political survivor. What do you know? I know who Domitian trusts and who he marks for death. I know the list of senators he plans to prosecute and the evidence he holds. I know the gold trails and the hidden debts of the great families. You could be lying, he says. Prisoners lie to buy time. I could be, but I am not. I spent 3 years listening to the Emperor when his guard was down. Test me. Ask me something only he would know. Saturninus pauses, weighing the danger conspire with a prisoner against the danger of ignorance. The Emperor has a list. He says softly a list of traitors. He talks of it, but names no one. Tell me the names. Valeria feels a surge of cold adrenaline. She knows the list. She saw it on a drunken night. 12 names. Gaius Calpurnius Piso is first. His wealth makes him a target. Titus Flavius Clemens is second, suspected of Jewish sympathies. Marcus Aurelius Clemens is third, for being too close to the Empress. Shall I go on? Saturninus drains of color. Stop. That is enough. You know one. Perhaps you know them all. What do you want? I want to live. I want the show stopped. My sentence changed. Exile me to a rock in the ocean. But do not put me in that arena. Impossible. The Emperor scheduled this himself. He is in the royal box. Canceling it would be a public defeat. Then delay it. Stage an accident. Find a way to satisfy his hate without my death. Why would I risk my neck for you? The information is good, but not worth defying Domitian on a personal vendetta. Valeria is ready for this, because I know more than the list. I know about the eastern provinces. I know about the secret talks with Parthia. I know the legions are moving. She lets the silence stretch. And I know certain governors in the east are sending letters to men who are not the emperor. I know the names of the governors. And I know the contents of the letters. Saturninus turns gray. You cannot know that. Domitian knows it. He laughed about it to me. He is waiting to spring the trap. She locks eyes with him. Your name is not on the treason list I gave you, but it is on the list of governors whose letters were intercepted. You are writing to the enemy. He has the proof. He is just waiting for the date. You are lying. Test me again. Ask me dates. Ask me couriers. Saturninus asks nothing. His silence is a confession. I want to live. Valeria says again, help me, and I tell you everything Domitian plans. Refuse, and I die today, and you spend your last days wondering when the axe falls. The senator stands frozen. Then he turns to the guard. Get out. Speak of this to no one, or your family dies in the arena next week. The guard vanishes. Saturninus turns back. I cannot stop the show. The crowd expects it. But I can influence the ending. I can create a chance. What chance? The crowd has the power of mercy. It is rare, but if a prisoner shows insane courage, the crowd can demand life. The emperor can refuse, but refusing a unanimous crowd is dangerous. You want me to survive until the crowd begs for me. I want to buy you time. Time for me to signal my people. Time to plant supporters in the seats. If you survive the bestiary, I can have men start to chant for mercy. I can manufacture the voice of the people. And if I don't survive, then you die, and I find another way to save myself. It is a chance, not a promise. It is better than the certainty of the bull. Valyria nods. It is not salvation, but it is a thread. Tell me what to do. The spectacle begins at the 6th hour. High noon. The sun turned the arena into a kiln. Valyria walks through the gate of death. The roar hits her like a physical blow. 50,000 voices screaming for her blood. She is naked as promised, stripped at the gate, exposed to the heat in the eyes of the world. She forces herself to walk tall, refusing to shrink. The herald shouts her crimes: adultery, treason, conspiracy, lies amplified to justify the cruelty. The crowd throws garbage, dung, rotted fruit. The guards deflect the heavy stones, preserving the merchandise. She walks the circuit, 20 minutes of pure shame, pelted with filth. When the lap ends, she is led to a wooden platform in the center. The bestiary phase begins, but as she stands there, she hears it. Voices, not the wall of hate, but pockets of something else. Courage. She stands tall. Look at her dignity. It is Saturninus's men, scattered in the cheap seats in the merchant rows, planting the seeds of doubt. The bestiari hesitate. They look to the Imperial box. Demission signals. Proceed. For men approach. Scar muscular, the handlers of beasts. Their job is to break her mind before the bull breaks her body. The emperor wants a show. One sneers. Let's give it to him. But Valyria sees the hesitation. The crowd is not unified. Listen to them, she says, her voice steady. Some want blood, some want mercy. You have a choice. The bestiari pause. If you drag this out, she says, you satisfy the bloodthirsty, but you give the mercy faction time to grow. The longer I stand here, the louder they get. We have orders. Your orders are to entertain. A divided crowd is an angry crowd. If this turns into a riot, who will the emperor blame? Not himself. The handler steps close, furious. You think you can negotiate with us? I think you can choose. Quick and brutal limits the time for the mercy chant to build. Slow and cruel gives my supporters time to turn the arena against you. Supporters? You are a whore. Listen, the chants are growing. Mercy. Enough. The bestiari look at each other. They are professionals. They know when a crowd is turning sour. We proceed. The leader says, but fast. We get it done. The next 30 minutes are a blur of horror. Valyria endures the hands, the exposure, the clinical degradation meant to strip her humanity. But it is rushed. They hurry through the script. And through it all, the voices rise. The sight of a woman enduring without screaming, without begging, turns the mob. The roar changes pitch. It is no longer a unanimous call for death. She survives the second phase. Now, the finale. The wooden cow is wheeled out. The crowd goes silent. They know this machine. 7 feet long, draped in painted hide, a masterpiece of perversion. The bull enters from the opposite gate. A Spanish monster, black as night, poked with goads until it's frothing with rage. Handlers hold it back with poles. Valyria is lifted from the platform. She does not fight. Fighting is for the gallery. She is calculating. The chant is loud now, a war between kill and mercy. She is placed at the opening of the cow. Hands position her. And then chaos. A messenger bursts through the gate of life. The performer's entrance. He is sprinting, waving a scroll, screaming something lost in the noise. He runs straight to the Imperial box. The handlers freeze. The arena holds its breath. The messenger hands a scroll to a prefect. The prefect whispers to the emperor. The mission stands up. A horn blasts. The signal to halt. Clear the arena. The herald bellows. A development. The games are suspended. Suspended. Not canceled. But suspended means breath. Suspended means life. Valeria is dragged back to the cells, back to the dark. She is alive. The development, she learns later, was a coup. While the crowd watched her, assassins struck at the Emperor's private villa. The attack failed, but the conspirators were caught. Under torture, they named names. Lucius Antonius Saturninus. The man who tried to save her was plotting to kill the Emperor. He was arrested in his seat. While watching the show, he helped rig. The chaos of the failed coup saved her. She spends 3 days in the dark. On the 4th, Empress Domitia visits. You should be dead, the Empress says. My husband wanted to see you broken. I know. Instead, you are here, and he is hunting traitors. Your lover's friend Saturninus is dead, executed an hour ago. And I am next? Perhaps. You are a loose end, but you are also a source. You traded secrets with Saturninus. My husband wants to know what you told him. I told him the list. And I told him about the Eastern letters. Domitia pauses. You understand that by telling him, you might have triggered his attack? You push him to act before he was ready. I understand. Then you understand your value. My husband wants to kill you, but I can save you. Why? Because you know things. If you tell me everything Saturninus said, everything you know about the conspiracy, I will convince the Emperor that you are worth more as a witness than a corpse. I will argue for exile. Exile to where? The edge of the world. A garrison on the Parthian border. You will never see Rome again, but you will live. It is the final bargain. Valeria speaks. She tells the Empress every scrap of information, every name, every whisper. It is enough. 5 days later, the decree comes. Valeria is exiled for providing intelligence to the state. The crowd never gets its finale. The wooden cow is rolled away and used. Valeria travels 3 months to a dusty garrison town. She lives there for 37 years. She learns a language, trades with merchants, and survives. She hears the news from Rome. Domitian assassinated in 96 AD. The Empress Domitia implicated in the plot. Surviving to live in luxury. Valeria outlives them all. She dies at 63 in her bed, leaving behind a manuscript, a diary of the arena found by a soldier. This is how we know, not from official records, but from her voice, preserving the truth of the system she escaped. The Colosseum was not a monument to glory. It was a machine of death. The wooden cow was not a myth. It was standard equipment. The bestiari were not monsters. They were employees. And Valeria survived not by mercy, which did not exist, but by intelligence, by leverage, and by the blind luck of conspiracy that broke at the exact second she needed it. Remember her when you see the ruins. Remember the woman who beat the house. Subscribe for more history that they try to hide. Comment below, because history is not what is written in stone. It is what is written in blood.